All right, everyone. So today we've got week 5 fantasy football start sits.
Yep.
And you are?
I'm Rudy.
And I'm Uncle Adolfo.
Yep, he's my uncle. So if you watched our last football card one, you'll know who we are. So
So here we are. We're going to kick it off with BUCS at Bears. So
yep. So that game's tomorrow, and so for quarterbacks, we think we should start both because yeah, I think it's gonna be a high-scoring game. So I think offense is gonna be key.
Yep. So it's going to be a high-scoring game. Obviously, Tom Brady, the GOAT, threw 5 touchdown passes last week to different receivers.
It
Nick
is.
Foles is going up against the Bucks defense that
I mean, you never know. He could do. Nick Foles beat Tom Brady. Nick Foles. He did beat Tom. He did have a team where he beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, but he has a different team now. But you never know. Anything can happen.
yeah, anything can happen. So we're going to start. Both Tom Brady and Nick Foles are averaging about 19 to 17 points for fantasy football. Ronald Jones, he could fall into the end zone at any point
Because Leonard Fournette injured, and then the Buccaneers are in second with like run defense.
Yep. So we're gonna sit David Montgomery because of that run defense.
Yeah, that's true. And then wide receivers, we're starting Mike Evans and Allen Robinson.
Obviously, two of the best receivers on both teams. We're gonna sit Scotty Miller, Anthony Miller, Darnell Mooney, and Chris Godwin's looking doubtful this week, huh?
Yeah, so we put a D.
Okay.
And then we got tight ends. We're gonna start Jimmy Graham.
And we're gonna sit Gronk because he's questionable right now, and there's basically nobody else for the Buccaneers.
Yeah, OJ Howard's out for the season. He was my tight end for last week, and he did get 14 points, and then he tore his Achilles, and then I had to get a new tight end.
Yep. So torn Achilles means OJ's out for the season, pretty much. And on the defensive end, we're gonna sit both the Chicago Bears and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Because we think it's going to be a high-scoring game, so.
Yeah.
Now I got Bills and Titans. Hopefully this game, the Titans will actually play this time. I think they will.
Right, so last week it got postponed because of COVID-19, and that's another big threat to this week is COVID-19 could hit any team.
Yeah, they had more test positives, but I think they could still it's still possibly going to happen.
Yeah, so they didn't practice today, but we'll see if they play.
Yeah, I think they will play though.
Obviously, Josh Allen's the best quarterback right now.
He's got a strong arm.
Yeah, right behind Russell Wilson.
Yep, and then got Ryan Tannehill. This last game he had a few fumbles, but I think he can still do good. I think he can still get the job done. But
Derrick Henry, obviously, he's a first-round pick, early pick. You're going to start him every time.
And then Devin Singletary, amazing.
Yep.
And then Zach Moss.
Yeah, Zach Moss, unfortunately, he's been on people's benches. He's been taking up real estate. I would not start him this week, even if he comes off of his toe injury that he had last week.
Yeah, so then we're starting Stephon Diggs because he was amazing, and then he's on my uncle's team, and that's another way how he beat me in week 2.
He was player of week 2, and he's pretty much come onto the scene as the top receiver for the Bills offense.
Yeah.
We're going to sit Cole Beasley and Corey Davis, just two guys you really can't rely on right now.
Yeah, Cole Beasley's getting old, and Corey Davis is just, ugh.
Yeah.
Tight ends, we're going to start Jonnu Smith.
Yep, he's averaging double-digit fantasy points. You definitely want to start Jonnu. You're going to sit Tyler Kroft and Lee Smith.
Yeah.
Defensively, you're going to sit the Buffalo Bills and the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we do have some defensive recommendations coming up.
Yeah. The Jaguars and Texans, if there's a game that the Texans are going to win, it's probably going to be this game.
Right, so Texans starting off pretty ugly this year. They fired their head coach. And
they've been playing tough opponents. They've played Kansas City. They've played Baltimore. They've played who is it? Oh yeah, they played Pittsburgh and who did they lose to? I think it was
all of them.
Who else did
they win any games?
No, but wait, who did they play last week?
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, we don't know who they played last week, but we're still gonna start Minshew Mania and Deshaun Watson. We should have put Minshew Mania.
Yeah,
But-
Minshew Mania next time, but
Yeah,
everybody knows it's Minshew Mania when you see Gardner Minshew.
yeah. So running backs, we got David Johnson to start, and then James Robinson, and he actually got a lot of points in the Jaguars' last Monday night game. So
Yep, and he's from our hometown.
Thursday night game, and and then we're sitting Duke Johnson.
On the receiver end, we're going to start DJ Chark. It's always Chark week when you see DJ. And then Will Fuller. I do expect Will Fuller to catch a touchdown in this game.
Yeah.
Somebody has to step up from this Houston Texans offense if they're going to win, and it's going to be Will Fuller.
Yep, no more DeAndre Hopkins, so.
On the bench, I think you should sit Laviska Shenault Jr. Everybody is saying, go get him off the waiver wire. Go get him off the waiver wire.
Don't listen to them.
Don't listen to him. He could wait another week. This is not a good matchup, especially with DJ Chark getting almost every single touchdown catch and target. So
yeah, DJ Chark gets a lot of points. So
I expect that to continue on. Also, Keelan Cole is another guy I don't recommend to start.
Yeah.
Jaguars at Texans.
So we're pretty much sitting all the tight ends.
Yep, no reason to start them. They're all pretty mediocre. Tyler Eifert's questionable right now.
Yep.
I think I just saw that he became healthy just a few minutes ago, but still a guy I wouldn't start.
Care.
Yeah, I don't care.
We're still sitting him even if he's healthy.
Yeah.
And then we're sitting both defenses, so.
Yep.
And then starting both Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson might be questionable, but I think he's going to play.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then.
Give me 1 second. Okay, so I just have some notes on my PowerPoint that I'm pulling up real quick.
You got notes?
Yep, I got notes. So we're at the Ravens. Okay, so as far as Bengals at Ravens, you've got Lamar Jackson averaging 21 points. Joe Burrow's averaging 19 points. These guys are pretty much unstoppable right now, but if anybody's going to stop Joe Burrow, it's going to be the Ravens defense. The Ravens are allowing 97 yards per game as far as rushing. And Joe Mixon's coming off of a big week from last week where he had multiple touchdowns, career week last week, but we still would recommend to sit him.
Yeah, because you should have watched his first 3 weeks and they were,
just bad. So definitely go ahead and sit Joe Mixon. You really can't count on him, especially given this Ravens defense. Also, we're going to recommend that you start Mark Ingram. Cincinnati's giving up 158 rushing yards per game, so that's a big reason to start Mark Ingram this week.
Yeah, amazing running back.
So if you've been keeping up with Lamar Jackson, you know that Marquise Brown is a sleeper.
Yeah.
He's due to wake up any minute, and somebody has to score on this Ravens offense. So
yes, because Hollywood Brown's not playing, and then he was like the only good. Because now the Ravens, they don't have any good receivers, so
yeah,
that's why Lamar Jackson is just really good at running the ball.
Yep. So also T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd are two really good receivers for Cincinnati. T. Higgins is up and coming, scored multiple touchdowns last weekend. Definitely a great pickup off the waiver wire. If he's still there, go ahead and pick him up. Willie Snead and A.J. Green are definitely sits. A.J. Green's a no-show for the Cincinnati offense. And Willie Snead, I'm not even sure if he plays football anymore.
Yeah, and then it's pretty much same with Hollywood Brown because we haven't seen him play this season. And then we're only going to talk about one tight end, and that's Mark Andrews. Start him.
Yep, go ahead and start him.
And then Ravens defense start, and then...
Mark Andrews actually has 4 touchdowns through 4 games, so Ravens absolutely rely on this tight end.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have him, trade for him. He's a very highly valuable target at the tight end position. Go ahead and start Baltimore. Joe Burrow's a rookie quarterback. He's going to have problems with this experienced defense.
Yeah, I knew he's not going to... I know that the Bengals are still going to do bad. Joe Burrow still still got bad stuff in front of him.
Mm-hmm. And so Cincinnati, you're going to sit. Obviously, I don't think they're going to be able to contain this offense.
Yeah, they're not taking down Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm. Panthers at Falcons.
So, yeah, Teddy Bridgewater had a really good week and then Matt Ryan. He's still someone to start. Still gotta be someone to start. So.
Yeah, so Matt Ryan's getting 19 fantasy points per game. Teddy Bridgewater 17 points per game. Obviously, the Falcons' defense is pretty bad, so a lot of people are hedging their bets on Teddy Bridgewater this week. Go ahead and start him. If he's on your waiver wire, you need somebody to start, and I think Teddy Bridgewater could really step up this week. So
yeah,
I would agree with those experts. As far as running backs, you're going to start Mark Davis. He's got 23 receiving targets so far out of 4 games. I know Reggie Bonifant scored 15 points last week, but he's on IR, so I expect Mike Davis to continue to get touches. So those receiving targets are only going to go up.
You said Mark Davis, not Mike Davis.
Yeah, so it's Mike Davis. I apologize. Todd Gurley, I'm not impressed with him, but if you have him, go ahead and start him. He got some garbage points last week on a long run. So if you have him, start him, but he's okay.
Yeah.
As far as wide receivers, you really want to start Calvin Ridley. He's been going off this year.
Yeah.
And then as far as the Panthers receivers,
yeah, they're probably gonna do pretty good. We trust them because Falcons have a trash defense and. Yep.
So definitely go ahead and start any Panthers receivers. If you see Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, I would sit Julio Jones. His hamstring has been acting up. You can't really depend on him. We know you took him in the first round, but
probably should have took a running back.
That's what I've been telling Rue, and he's learned this year that you got to take running backs early because they're dependable and they're workhorses. So
yeah, I'm gonna do that next year.
As far as Russell Gage, a lot of people have been talking about him. I know he's started in a lot of fantasy leagues, but once again, I don't recommend that you play him. And so we skipped forward, but as far as the as far as the Panthers at the Falcons, you're going to start or you're going to sit Hayden Hurst. He's got 22 targets through 4 games, 2 touchdowns, but the Panthers are only allowing 7 points per game to tight ends.
Yeah, that's like a touchdown pretty much.
Yeah, so not much. But if you are going to start a defense, you want to start Carolina against against the Falcons, and then you're going to want to sit Atlanta as far as defense.
Yeah, that trash defense. That's all we're going to talk about. No offense, Falcons fans.
Okay, so now we're on to Raiders at Chiefs. So at quarterback.
Start Patty Mahomes, of course. Got to.
Yeah, I think he's put up 50 points 2 weeks ago. So
sit Derek Carr. I just don't know about Derek Carr. Ugh.
Yeah, so Derek Carr, I think this is not a good week to start him. The Chiefs' defense has been looking pretty solid, and I really can't depend on Derek Carr with such a weak wide receiving core right now. Hunter Renfrow, Nelson Aguilar are not very good targets. And Kansas is only allowing 195 passing yards per game. But they are giving up 161 rushing yards per game, so that's why we recommend you start Josh Jacobs, and then you're going to want to start Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good run game, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
They're going to go crazy.
A lot of running. We do have a sleeper here, Mecole Hardman and Tyreek Hill for the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
You always want to start Tyreek because he's going to get a bomb every week, and Mecole Hardman, he's due for some points, so definitely start him if you have him.
He returns the ball, and there are 2 players at the Legion of Zoom.
Tight ends?
Yep, both start them. Travis Kelce, Darren Waller, amazing tight ends. Darren Waller gets a lot of points. Travis Kelce, really good.
I know Darren Waller didn't have such a great week. However, you really got to start him. Travis Kelce, this is going to be a great tight end matchup.
Yeah, tight ends are going to be good too. And then defensives, going to start Kansas City and sit Las Vegas.
Yep. So once again, Kansas is really good pass defense right now. Las Vegas, not very good at much. So moving on, we have Cardinals at Jets.
So we're starting Kyler Murray.
And we know that Sam Darnold is out.
So we obviously sit him, but we're going to sit Joe Flacco.
Sorry about that. So we're going to sit Joe Flacco.
Obviously, because he has not been playing since like a few games last year with that Broncos team. And then we're going to start Kenyon Drake and sit Chase Edmonds and Frank Gore. I know Kenyon Drake has been playing bad, but the Jets allow a bunch of rushing yards, so that's why you should start Kenyon Drake.
Yep, so Jets are giving up 125 rushing yards per game, and that's a really good reason to start Kenyon Drake. You should sit Chase Edmonds and Frank Gore. Chase Edmonds has 2 fumbles this year so far in 4 games, so really just can't hold on to the ball. Might as well call him Butterfingers.
Yeah, and Frank Gore is really old.
Yeah, Frank Gore is getting old. Jamison Crowder and DeAndre Hopkins definitely going to start them as wide receivers.
And
you're going to want to sit Andy Isabella and Christian Kirk.
Yeah, and Andy Isabella has a girl name as his last name, and that's embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that.
So Cardinals at Jets, you're going to want to sit everybody at the tight end position. Nobody really dependable right now.
Yeah.
And then you're going to want to start the Arizona defense against Joe Flacco. He's really hasn't really even played any football games this year, so no pre-games or no preseason games. So he's really going to be under a lot of pressure. I know he's an experienced quarterback, but I have a good feeling that Arizona's going to get to him.
Yeah, and then so we're going to start Arizona, and we're going to sit New York, obviously. No more Jamal Adams for the Jets, so.
Yep, good reason to sit the Jets defense.
Now we got the Battle of Pennsylvania, so we decided to start both quarterbacks. Ben Roethlisberger is amazing, and Carson Wentz. This one's going to be a good game.
Mm-hmm. You're also going to start Miles Sanders. You're going to start James Conner. Miles Sanders is averaging almost 12 points per game. James Conner is really taking on the lead running back role. And as far as wide receivers, you're going to start Juju, and you're going to sit Travis Fulgham and Jalen Reagor, who is on IR right now.
Yeah. And then
as far as tight ends,
so we're going to sit both Zach Ertz and Eric Ebron. And
they just haven't produced this year.
Yeah, Zach Ertz, and Eric Ebron not doing too great. That's all. And then defense, you're gonna want to start both Pittsburgh and Philly, because Pittsburgh is number 2, but Philly is number 10, and they're both in top 10. So those are two defenses to start.
Yep.
So start them.
Rams at Washington.
Football team.
Yep, the Washington football team.
Worst name.
Great name.
Better than Redskins, actually.
Yeah, better than Redskins. So you're going to want to start Jared Goff, and Kyle Allen is going to be playing.
Yep, no more Dwayne.
No more Dwayne Haskins.
And, yep, you should definitely sit Kyle Allen. He's going to even be worse. He's going to play even worse than when he was with Carolina last season.
Yep.
And then for running backs, we're going to start all of them.
Yep, you want to start Darrell Henderson, Malcolm Brown, Antonio Gibson. And at the wide receiver position, a lot of good wide receivers here. So Terry McLaurin, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods.
Yeah.
Those are going to be the top 3 receivers in this matchup.
Yeah, so pretty much just all of them say start except for the football team quarterback, Kyle Allen. Sit him.
Yep.
And then tight end, Tyler Higbee, is because Washington has been giving up 16 points per game fantasy points.
Yep, getting the camera.
Oh, sorry, my bad right there. Okay. So Washington football team is giving up 16 points per game to tight ends, and Tyler Higbee is where he's going to go all over football team. And we're sitting Logan Thomas. And
So can't stress enough, if you have Tyler Higbee, if you can get Tyler Higbee, he can really expose that Washington defense. So go ahead and pick him up.
Yeah, put him at your tight end spot.
Defensive-wise, we're going to start the Los Angeles Rams, especially against that quarterback Kyle Allen. So
yeah, Aaron Donald is gonna sack Kyle Allen hard.
And then we're going to sit the Washington defense because they're just going to be so tired from being on the field because Kyle Allen won't be able to produce. So go ahead and keep that in mind.
Yeah, football team's going to be on defense a lot. And then now we got Dolphins and Niners. So we're going to start Ryan Fitzmagic.
Of course, you can't count out Fitzmagic. He gets you about 17 points every week. We're going to sit
Nick Mullins, because obviously not that good, and no Jimmy G right now.
Yep.
And now this is going to be maybe a little bit tougher to 49ers. So, yep. And then
as far as running backs, you're going to start Jerick McKinnon or Raheem Mostert. So if Raheem Mostert is healthy, you start him. Yeah. If not, you're going to start Jerick McKinnon, but you can't start both. So it just depends on if Mostert's healthy or not.
Yeah, and then we're going to sit Myles Gaskin if he's, and yeah.
And the reason is because 49ers are giving up the least fantasy points to running backs.
Yeah, even without Bosa, and yeah.
As far as wide receivers, you're going to start Brandon Ayuk for the 49ers. Really great up-and-coming wide receiver.
Yeah.
But you're going to want to sit Devontae Parker and Preston Williams.
Yeah.
The Dolphins receivers
Yeah.
haven't really been able to light it up. Even though Fitzmagic will get you those 17 points, we can't recommend those wide receivers for the Dolphins.
Yeah, and Sherman's going to stop them. And then for tight ends, we're going to start for tight ends, we're going to start with George Kittle because he's an oversized load and it's hard to tackle. I actually got it. And then, yep.
And Mike Gesicki, he's a really good tight end. Another guy people have been saying to pick up off the waiver wires. But the 49ers are only giving up 4.4 points per game to tight ends. So can't really recommend Mike Gesicki, even though he's a donkey. He's huge. He's got big hands.
Yeah.
We know he can catch, but this is just not the matchup for him.
Yeah, and then defense, we're going to start both because, San Francisco's still going to do pretty well because they're going to be really well on the players that's not Fitzmagic and we're starting Miami just because of Nick Mullins, but we'd probably sit him if Jimmy G was starting.
Yep. Good point. Okay, on to Giants at Cowboys. So you got to start Dak. You got to start Daniel Jones just because the Cowboys defense is so trash.
Agree. Even if you have a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers or Matthew Stafford right now because they are on a bye.
Right. So you can't count on the Cowboys defense right now. As far as running backs, you're going to start Zeke and you're going to start Deion Lewis and Devontae Freeman. So Cowboys are giving up about 22 points to rushers this year. And so either of those guys, Deion Lewis or Devontae Freeman, are going to get you about 10 to 11 points each, especially with the equal distribution of carries and targets. So definitely go ahead. If you can find these guys and you need 10 points, those guys are easy pickups. Go ahead and start them.
Yep, and then wide receivers, we're starting Darius Slayton, Amari Cooper, and CeeDee Lamb because I think that's going to be some good wide receivers to start. And we're going to sit Michael Gallup just because it's just, we looked at Cowboys wide receivers for fantasy points, and for like the top three, he was number 3.
Yeah, so obviously Cowboys have a great offense. Their defense is the worst in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
But, with so many offensive weapons, somebody's got to be sacrificed, and it's going to be Michael Gallup.
Yeah. And then tight ends, we're going to start Dalton Schultz, even though he may be questionable, but who cares?
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to sit this dude. I'm not going to talk about him.
Well, he's the most overrated tight end in football, and that's Evan Ingram.
Yeah, I drafted him. If you drafted him like me, you know you made the worst decision just like me.
As far as defense, we expect it to be a pretty high-scoring game. Not a lot of offense on Dallas side, so definitely sit Dallas, sit the Giants. No reason to start either of those two teams when there's better teams out there. So.
And now we have Broncos and Pats. So now, so the reason why we're starting Cam Newton, we don't know if he's gonna come back, but it depends. So but if he does come back, we would start him. So you never know.
And that's just because he had COVID last week, and we're not sure what his status is. I haven't really heard any news about how he's progressing. But go ahead and start him if he's available. If not, it really kind of changes the dynamics of this game. We also recommend that if Cam is starting, that you start Julian Edelman. And that's a big if. So if he's not starting, maybe don't start Julian Edelman. And you're going to want to set Jeff Driscoll. He's pretty much unheard of. Didn't put up too many points last week. Also, you're going to want to sit Tim Patrick and Jerry Jeudy. Really, the Patriots defense is really good, even though a lot of people sat out this past week. They really gave it to the Chiefs and really exposed the Chiefs. So I think they're going to be able to expose the Broncos as well.
Yeah, so because Gilmore's gonna stop them.
Yeah.
These wide receivers and.
Well, Gilmore has COVID.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was that Patriots player?
Yeah.
Oh well, not Gilmore then. Who was another one? Was it McCourty? Pretty sure. Yeah, McCourty probably.
Yeah. As far as the running backs, you got Melvin Gordon. You want to start him. Always sit Phillip Lindsay. And Rex Burkhead, I know he had an explosive week about 2 weeks ago, but really he's more of a gadget player. And, given that James White might come back as well, a lot of questions in the air, and I wouldn't start Rex right now.
Mm-hmm.
As far as tight ends,
we're going to sit Noah Fant because he's questionable, but we're also going to sit Jake Butt.
Yep.
I think it's good. That's his weakness, is his last name.
Yep. So Jake, we know that if you step in for Noah, you're probably not going to produce, and so definitely sit both these tight ends if you can. Defensively, you want to start New England against Driscoll. It's going to be a good matchup for New England, especially given their defensive rankings. You know that they're going to have a good weekend this week. You're going to want to sit Denver. It could depend if Cam Newton doesn't play, though, so maybe you might want to start Denver if Cam Newton doesn't play.
Yeah.
Colts at Browns.
So we're going to start both quarterbacks, Baker and Phillip.
Yep, so these guys are always going to bring you 18, 19, 20 points a game. Running backs, you're going to want to start Kareem Hunt. D'Ernest Johnson is a sleeper for the Browns given the volume that these Browns running backs see. If he's on your waiver wires, pick him up. He's going to be a big sleeper this weekend. I could see the Browns getting out to a big lead and just relying heavily on D'Ernest Johnson this weekend. As far as Indianapolis, Jonathan Taylor is getting mostly all the touches compared to Nyheim Hines. I know a couple weeks ago Nyheim Hines didn't get many touches at all. Jonathan Taylor got them all, so can't rely on Nyheim Hines, even though he had a really hot week one. As far as wide receivers?
Yep, so we're going to start OBJ. He did really well last week. And we're going to sit Zach Pascal, T.Y. Hilton, and Jarvis Landry. We just don't expect much from the players who we sit. So, yep. And then for tight ends, we're going to start Mo Alley Cox. And we're going to sit Austin Hooper. And the reason why we're sitting Austin Hooper is because Colts give up fewest points to tight ends, and Browns. And the reason why we're starting Mo Alley Cox is because Browns give up most fourth most points to tight ends, and
yeah. So definitely had to start Mo Alley Cox. He really it really surprised us when we looked at the data points as to how well he could do, given that the Browns are giving up so many points to tight ends. Defensively, you're going to want to start Indianapolis. It's a top 10 defense, and you're going to want to sit Cleveland. So Indianapolis really stops the running game, and they're going to give it to the Browns as far as the running game. But I think OBJ is really going to help with some big plays like he did last weekend. So he scored 3 touchdowns. I expect him to really step it up here. Hopefully he gets another flea flicker or reverse run.
Yeah, Indiana is probably going to win the game if you predict games like that, yeah. And, so for now we're at Vikings and Seahawks. And so we're starting Russell Wilson because the Vikings allow a bunch of yards.
Mm-hmm.
But Seattle is giving up the most offensive yard per game and they've only played 4 games this season. And that's why Kirk Cousins is starting.
Yep, so Kirk Cousins going to have a beautiful matchup against the Seahawks, just given that the Seahawks really can't contain any of their opponents on the defensive end. We're going to start, as far as running backs, Chris Carson and Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook, amazing, and Chris Carson is just going to go all over this Vikings team.
Yep. Wide receivers, a lot of starters here. Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. Start all 4 of those wide receivers because it's going to be a high-scoring game. Will Russell throw 5 touchdowns this game?
Yeah, we don't know what's going to happen. This is going to be a pretty good game, I got to say.
Yep, so this is going to be a really good one.
So
keep your eyes on this matchup.
Yep, no sits in this one, but this one, we do got sits.
Yep.
So, tight ends, sit everyone, nobody good. I don't want to talk about them because I know there's the tight ends, but I'm not talking about them because we are obviously going to sit them. So, sit any Seahawks or Vikings tight end you have, sit them.
Yep. As far as defense, since it's going to be such a high-scoring game, you're going to want to sit both these defenses, Minnesota and Seattle. You really can't count on these guys, so don't start them. Bad idea, but definitely watch the game. It's going to be exciting.
If you can. And then, so, Chargers and Saints, so I think definitely start Justin Herbert. He's been amazing this year. Whenever he's played, he just hasn't won. But, yeah, that's all. But he's still playing really amazing.
He's putting up numbers. Drew Brees, does he have a noodle arm this year? I don't know. Can he throw it out? Maybe. But he's Drew Brees. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. And you got to start him. He's going to get you those points.
Yep, and then, so we're going to start Alvin Kamara. Amazing. And then we're going to sit Latavius Murray and Joshua Kelly.
Yeah, and so Latavius Murray, I know he had a great week last weekend, but really as far as running backs go, the Chargers don't give up that much yards to running backs. So I'm gonna assume that Alvin Kamara will get those touches and will get those receptions over Latavius Murray this week. So definitely don't start Latavius Murray. As far as wide receivers, you got Keenan Allen, Traquan Smith, and Emmanuel Sanders are going to be your top 3 wide receivers. And, it's going to be a good matchup for Drew Brees. It's going to be a good matchup for Justin Herbert. So definitely look out for these wide receivers.
Yep, there's going to be some passing in this game. And then, so for tight ends, we're going to start Hunter Henry. And we're not going to talk about Saints because it's embarrassing.
Yeah, so Chargers with Hunter Henry, we expect the Saints to give up the second most points to tight ends. So Hunter Henry could score maybe 14 points or more this weekend. So definitely be on the lookout for Hunter Henry. He's going to be a great start.
Yep, and then we're going to sit both defenses because we think it's probably going to be another great game. And yep, so sit both of these defenses. So
yep. So that's all we have for today. We do want to thank you for sitting down with us and going through the matchups and the start sits for week 5. Obviously, there's a lot of things in the air, such as COVID-19 and which team will be exposed this week. Will there be any delays? Will there be any postponements? So we're not sure, and that's going to change a lot of these start sits. If we have any really big suggestions that we come up with, we'll let you know. And we also want to let you know that we are having a giveaway, so we are going to be giving away some Prism Mosaic hanger packs. So if you have ever seen Prism Mosaic, they've got these really beautiful football cards. This is a Tom Brady example, and so we've got a cello or hanger pack, which has 3 packs in it, and in those 3 packs you can open up beautiful cards just like this, and they're very rare in certain cases, and you can actually, pick out your favorite football players, and some of them can even be very profitable. I know this Tom Brady right here is at least worth $20. So we're going to be giving that out. So in order to be selected for that, you're going to need to follow, like, and subscribe. And if you could comment as well, that would be excellent. And so we're going to pick our winners based on those who follow, like, subscribe, and comment. And I know that following and subscribing are the same thing. So subscribe, like, comment.
Oh, and also comment your favorite NFL team. I'm really curious to see.
Yeah.
We could. I hope there's a bunch of you guys, a bunch like different teams. So
yeah, we want to know where you're from.
So yep, and we want to get all 32 teams of likes. Yep, we're gonna try.
So we're gonna pick that winner for the Mosaic cello. When do you want to pick that? On Monday?
Yeah, we'll do Monday.
Yeah, we'll give it till Monday, but definitely go ahead and leave us a follow, subscribe, like it, and leave a comment. Comment your favorite team, and we'll definitely put you in for that winning. So thank you so much.
Bye.
See you later.